Okay, the transaction process for a buyer. The way I will work in Google Drive, the file is, this is what we're going to be using. I can share the document through Google Drive. By example here, this is me and this is the agent that I'm sharing this transaction process. I will create one for you and will have only your properties and will be shared only with you. So, for example, I have here on my, you can navigate there like an Excel. You can navigate here to all sheets, or you can go at the bottom and go to the right on each transaction. It's going to be up to you. So the first sheet will show all the properties that we have deals, and it's going to have the property address, the name of your client, if it's buyer or seller, the status, phone number, email, update email, especially for the listing, the initial day when we started the deal, and then we're going to have a closing date and a price. So the idea is that by the end of the year, you have all your important information here, where you can be able to find anything that, let's say that you want to send an email to your most recent clients or you contact them. This is going to be very handy. Okay, so I'm going to go to my buyer sample transaction process, and this is what you will find. You will find here detailed information about the transaction, like address, sale price, seller concessions, if any, the date that we went under contract, commitment date, closing date. This is the closing date on the sales contract, and we will change in the future to the actual closing date. We're going to have the deposits, MLS number, amount of deposits, and your commission. So when I work your bill, it's going to be there. I have the buyer side information and I have the seller side information, name, numbers, and email. So again, this is for you to use the information very easy. And this is the process. So I will have all my tasks listed by number, and I have the task description, my due date, which is going to be based on my my contract day. So the data, I'm going to use this as a base. So full executed contract, for example, it has to be due date on the same day that we went under contract. But disclosure signed by all parties is going to take around 3 days to have all signed, and it's going to be contract day plus those 3 days. So due day is basically based on under contract day, and completed days when we had it actually completed. On this case, on this sample, I may note about what I will do and what is it exactly that I do for that. For example, full executed contract. I get the full executed contract from you, but I will receive the contract and make sure we have correct names, address, price, contingency days to be entered here in the process, in the transaction process. I'm going to make sure that your pre-approval is on file, that you have your initial pre-approval. That will be, you will forward to me. We'll take care of the request and disclosure to the listing agent, and then make sure that I follow up and I have all the disclosures signed by all parties. Email to attorneys, to mortgage company. If the client, if you got this buyer through a referral program, I will just remind you to please update your client. Also, we'll follow up on attorney review, conclude, because sometimes we just, okay, I send the email to the attorney, but I didn't follow on the conclusion. I'm going to follow up also and make sure we have copies of the escrow money deposits. I will help you once we are out of attorney review. will follow up and say, you know what, we need to schedule the home inspection. Make sure that the attend the home inspection and the buyer too, the report. I will follow up on repairs and just by trying to follow up with the attorney's email. Schedule the appraisal. Let's say that we already have agreements on your on the repairs and they haven't called for the appraisal, which appraisal should be done probably like 10-15 days later that after we went under contract. Appraisal to be completed, I will follow up with the mortgage company. Loan approval, I also will make sure that to contact the loan officer and ask him or her if the buyer being given them all the documents and everything is fine. Homeowners insurance will email you the buyer and explain to start searching for. I will follow up on CO and fire inspections because sometimes it happened to me already that listing agent forgets about it. And if it's in charge of the buyer, I also will be on top. Title order, once we have a commitment day, I will follow up. We'll follow up also on clear to close. I will prepare your commission bill and make sure that your broker signs and that you sign electronically. The closing, the CD, the closing disclosure prior to closing, preliminary to be checked 1 or 2 days. And then prior to closing, and then we'll follow up with you on your walkthrough. If there was an agreement on repairs, I will suggest you to go 10 or 15 days prior to the closing and make sure that they did it, what they agreed to do. That way we don't wait until the closing day. You go to the walkthrough and nothing was done. Also, this is a task that I suggest all my agents, but we will work on the list and we will adapt to you. Gift for your buyers. And what I always suggest is get a gift that is always present in their house, like a doormat or a plant or something. You can get also like a bottle of wine or whatever you want, but I think something that when they see at their house, they will remember about you. Probably is a better idea. At the date of the closing, I will send your clients an e-card with the photo of the house and the closing photo. So if you are attending, I'll suggest you take a photo and we will send them that e-card. Also, I will prepare like your sold for pasting to place it in your face account. If you have your client like after they close, like in a monthly newsletter or a tweet campaign, and you need help on that, I will also to update referral. If they came from a referral program. And I'm gonna make sure like all these in green are documents that in a specific this company request to the agent. So I'll make sure that I have all these documents on their CRM or in a folder to have a complete file emailed to your broker. So that's basically all the steps, and we will work on like probably personalizing to your clients, and you probably will tell me, you know what, I also would like to add this step, but delete this step because that's something that I won't do. And this is the transaction process for the buyers under contract.